All right, listen up. If your business depends on Google for traffic, you need to pay very close attention. There's a huge shift happening right now, and the old rulebook for SEO, it's not just out of date, it's actually becoming dangerous. So let's break down what's going on and what you absolutely have to do to stay ahead of it.
I want you to just imagine this for a second. You walk into the office one morning, you check your analytics, and the traffic from Google, the lifeblood of your business, is just gone. And I'm not talking about a little 10% dip. We're seeing businesses get hit with 90% traffic loss, almost overnight.
And here's the really scary part. This is happening to companies that thought they were doing everything by the book. They were following all the so-called best practices, they were investing a ton in content, and boom, Google just decided they weren't trustworthy anymore. It's causing, as you can imagine, a whole lot of panic and confusion out there. So, what gives? Why is this all happening right now? Well, this isn't some random accident. It's actually the result of Google's systems getting way smarter, way faster, and honestly, a lot more aggressive. Let's pull back the curtain and see what's really driving this.
The big change here is the intent behind what Google is doing. They are deliberately cracking down on tactics that they now see as low value or manipulative. Their big core updates aren't gentle suggestions anymore. They are really harsh judgments. And their ability to spot these patterns of, let's call it, gaming the system has gotten incredibly sophisticated.
And that brings us to the old SEO playbook. For years, there were these strategies that were pretty much guaranteed to work. Today, following that same advice is like walking through a minefield for your business. Let's get specific about what tactics are now putting you in the danger zone.
Okay, first up, AI content. And this is a really important point. Google is not against you using AI. Not at all. What they're penalizing is the abuse of AI. The old way of just pumping out thousands of purely automated articles with no human checking them, no real expertise, yeah, that's incredibly risky now. The new reality is you can use AI to assist, but it has to be verified, edited, and ultimately signed off on by a real human expert. Here's a classic example. You've probably seen this. Businesses that create hundreds or even thousands of nearly identical pages for every city imaginable, even places they don't have an office. Google has a name for these, doorway pages, and it's now exceptionally good at finding and penalizing them. The new rule is simple. If you don't have a real physical location in a city, creating a web page for it is just playing with fire. And a few others are on the chopping block too. Those best plumbers in any town lists where, what a surprise, the company that wrote the article ranks themselves number one? Well, as of early 2026, Google is demoting those automatically. Same goes for building tons of cheap, low-quality links at scale or writing content that's so stuffed with keywords it's basically unreadable for a human being. The game has totally changed.
But look, this is actually way bigger than just Google penalizing some old spammy tricks. There's a much more fundamental shift happening because of generative AI. It's changing the entire way we find information online.
This is the million-dollar question every site owner is asking right now. Okay, people are still searching for stuff, but my website's traffic just fell off a cliff. So where did all my visitors go? The answer is, they didn't go anywhere. Google just decided to stop sending them to you.
Your traffic is being intercepted. It's getting grabbed by new features like AI overviews right at the top of the search results. All that how-to and what is content, the stuff publishers build entire businesses on, that's what's getting hit the hardest. Because now, AI just answers the question right there. The user gets their answer and they never ever have to click on your website.
So let's be really clear about what's happening. Google's AI is reading your expert content, it's summarizing it, and then it's presenting that information as its own answer. Your expertise is literally being used to train the machine that is now siphoning away your traffic. You are still providing all the value, but you are not getting the click. You're not getting the credit.
Now, I know that sounds pretty bleak, but this is not the end of the road. It's an evolution. And for the businesses that are willing to adapt, there's a whole new set of rules that can actually make your brand stronger than ever. So let's get into the new playbook.
This right here is the single most important change in mindset you need to make. Stop chasing keywords. Stop obsessing over clicks. Your new goal, your new North Star, is to build a brand that is so authoritative, so trusted, that the AI models have no other choice but to recommend you as the answer. This is way more about brand building than it is about technical SEO.
And the framework for this is something Google calls EEAT. But let's be real, this isn't some technical thing you can just add to your website. You can't just slap an author's name on a blog post and call it a day. It is the total sum of your brand's reputation across the entire internet. Are real people talking about you? Are your experts being quoted in other places? Do you have real firsthand experience? It's all about being genuinely credible.
So this all leads to a brand new marketing cycle. It starts with creating content that is truly expert level, the best stuff out there. But then, you can't just leave it on your blog. You have to distribute it everywhere: video, social media, you name it. When you do that, you start to earn real, organic conversations and brand mentions, which then feeds the machine, strengthening your authority in the eyes of both old-school Google and the new AI.
So where do you actually build this authority? Well, everywhere. The big AI models, they understand video. So being on YouTube is now critical. They scrape conversations on LinkedIn, Reddit, and Quora to figure out who the real experts are. They can even process audio from podcasts and interviews. Your brand has to show up and be part of these conversations wherever they're happening.
So the big takeaway here is this: your website is no longer an island. It can't be. To succeed now, you need an integrated strategy. Your SEO, your social media, your PR, it all has to work together to build one unified, powerful brand presence across multiple platforms.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. It's not enough to just rank on Google anymore. The new finish line, the new goal, is to be the brand that the AI itself recommends. So the question you have to ask is, are you building a business for that future?